Hello everyone, how are you doing? We're happy to have people tuning in from all around the world. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Russian intelligence reported that the Yemeni missile reached a speed of Mach 22, so fast that no current defense system could intercept it.
Netanyahu declared that Israel's response to the Houthis would be devastating. In response to the situation, major international airlines have completely suspended their flights to Ben Gurion Airport.
Israeli media expressed concern about the failure of American defense systems.
The Houthis responded, claiming they still have powerful new weapons they haven't used yet.
A Houthi military statement also put pressure on Damascus, and they announced a full air blockade on all airports in Tel Aviv.
Meanwhile, the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Truman pulled out of the Red Sea, and the UAE and Saudi-backed Aden government requested weapons from Washington and Tel Aviv to counter the Houthis. The Israeli War Council voted to expand operations in Gaza, while Iran revealed a new military figure, Qassem Basir. Netanyahu had a falling out with Trump after the latter appeared to back off in the face of Iranian pressure. The UK on its end announced the arrest of Iranian nationals who were allegedly plotting a surprise attack. Russia hinted at expanding its involvement in the conflict, and Trump, meanwhile, seems to be treating Ukraine like his own personal playground. This is the so-called 0 hour for those who thought the war was just stuck in a repetitive cycle. In a dramatic escalation, a Houthi ballistic missile from Yemen struck near Ben Gurion Airport, speeding up global reactions. Reuters published an alarming report highlighting serious vulnerabilities in the high-tech air defense systems used by both Tel Aviv and Washington. The missile managed to bypass and even jam these defenses, allegedly why sirens didn't go off until after impact. Israel's Channel 2 reported that many foreign airlines rushed to cancel their Tel Aviv flights due to rising security fears. Prime Minister Netanyahu held an emergency meeting with top military and security officials to discuss response options. A report in Israel, Hayom, described the situation as a strategic dilemma, admitting that even US airstrikes haven't deterred the Houthis, and that Washington doesn't fully understand how the group thinks. According to American outlet The War Zone, US MQ-9 drones have suffered serious losses in Yemen, and now the Air Force is reconsidering plans to buy a smaller version, the MQ-C, citing increasing vulnerability. Hebrew language paper Grazli Post expressed surprise at how the Houthis managed to fire such a large number of missiles at Tel Aviv within just 2 days. The piece questioned how the US expects to take on Iran when it can't even neutralize the Houthis, especially given that air power alone seems ineffective. Repeated US strikes have reportedly targeted the same areas in Yemen, like Ras Isa port, but analysts believe the Houthis had already evacuated those sites before the hits.
Houthi military spokesman Yahya Sari released a statement announcing a total air blockade on Tel Aviv by continuing to target airports, especially Lod Airport, also known as Ben Gurion. He urged international airlines to heed the warning immediately for the safety of their aircraft and passengers.
In economic news, Investing.com reported that the Houthi strike on Ben Gurion Airport severely impacted the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, with half of key sectors seeing immediate losses. This forced Netanyahu's government to declare war. Israeli public broadcaster Kan reported that the Israeli Air Force has gone on high alert and conducted training for large-scale strikes against the Houthis. Although the plans haven't been officially approved, still, there's speculation that Israeli jets will join the American campaign. Netanyahu claimed the Houthis are acting under orders from Iran and warned that Israel will send Tehran a clear message: there's a limit to patience. Israel's foreign ministry echoed this, saying Houthi attacks are essentially Iranian attacks and the world must hold Iran accountable. Sky News, quoting a senior Yemeni source, reported that 10 US satellites were focused on Yemen. Yet this massive military effort still failed to neutralize the Houthi arsenal or produce a reliable target list. The outlet suggested there's been a major leap in Yemen's military manufacturing capabilities. Finally, the Yemeni Defense Ministry told Al Arabiya that support ships accompanying the US carrier Truman were seen entering the Suez Canal on their way out of the Red Sea after failing to stop Houthi strikes. US forces reportedly offloaded gear from the Truman following the admission of their limited success. The US faces attack and an F-18 is shot down. Tensions mount across the region. In response, US Central Command released new footage showing heavy military vehicles being unloaded onto the aircraft carrier Harry S. Truman. The video shows a military transport helicopter delivering equipment from a Saudi base and dropping it at sea, suggesting that the Truman is no longer seaworthy after the recent attack and is undergoing emergency maintenance, according to Al Arabiya. Meanwhile, Mustafa Noman, Deputy Foreign Minister for the UAE and Saudi-backed Aden government, told PBS that his government is still seeking American help, whether through weapons, logistics or military funding, to join the fight against the Houthis. So far, that support hasn't materialized. He added that without a ground operation, the US won't meet its goals in Yemen, but such an operation hasn't happened yet. In related news, Israel's Yedioth Aharonoth reported that the Aden government informed US officials that any American ground operation would require Gulf support. However, both Saudi Arabia and the UAE have publicly denied involvement, according to the outlet. This lukewarm response has frustrated Israeli lawmakers. According to Channel Can, Israel's Security Cabinet held a meeting and decided to gradually expand its military operation in Gaza, starting with intensified action in specific areas and eventually spreading out over months. This all comes as diplomatic tension rises ahead of Trump's upcoming trip to the Gulf. Sources told Channel Can that Qatar has re-entered the scene, hoping to score political points during Trump's visit. At the same time, Iran is ramping up its military rhetoric. Iranian state TV revealed a new ballistic missile called Qasem Basir, with a range of over 1,200 kilometers, calling it a major defensive breakthrough. Iran's defense minister warned that if Tehran is attacked, it will retaliate powerfully, targeting US bases and interests. While he insisted Iran holds no hostility toward neighboring countries, he made it clear that any attack would turn American bases into legitimate military targets. Meanwhile, Israel Hayom cited sources close to Netanyahu saying he's frustrated with Trump's Middle East policy, especially the administration's past willingness to negotiate with Iran and offer concessions. Although Trump makes strong statements about Iran and Syria behind closed doors, Netanyahu feels his actions don't match his words. He's also worried about Trump's support for Erdogan, which could strengthen Turkey's hold in Syria. In a surprise move, UK authorities arrested 7 Iranian nationals accused of plotting extremist attacks. This reflects growing concern within British security circles about Iran's influence, a concern that predates the current Labour government. A few years ago, the UK had already categorized Iran alongside Russia and China in terms of national security threats. British anger peaked in early 2023 when Parliament urged then-Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's government to designate Iran's Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, according to the BBC. Elsewhere, Russia is staying confident. As reports come and go, Vladimir Putin seems assured of victory. He stated that Russia has enough resources and capabilities to achieve its military goals in Ukraine without using nuclear weapons. In an interview with Russian media, Putin said reconciliation with Ukraine is inevitable. He emphasized that Moscow had originally followed the Minsk agreements out of a desire to resolve the Donbas conflict peacefully. On a different note, Ukrainian MP Oleksandr Dubinsky expressed concern that a secret annex to the US-Ukraine minerals deal might contain highly unfair conditions against Kiev's interests. President Zelensky previously urged the US to revoke the visas of MPs who opposed the agreement, accusing entire political parties in Ukraine's parliament of resisting it. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Here at S News, we're committed to bringing you balanced and trustworthy news. See you in the